In 1972, the average American spent less than 10 minutes a day sitting still. 10 minutes today, that number is over 9 hours. 9 hours of sitting every single day. And here is what makes that number even more disturbing. Nobody decided to do this. Nobody chose it. It just happened. No therapy sessions in 1972. No wellness retreats. No $100 supplements. No self-help industry worth $60 billion. And yet, Americans in 1972 were leaner, calmer, healthier. So, what exactly did they know that we have completely forgotten? The answer is not a diet. It is not a workout routine. And by the end of this video, you will never look at your daily life the same way again. But the sitting was only the beginning. It started the moment they opened their eyes. No phone on the nightstand. No notifications. No algorithm deciding what emotion you should feel before your first cup of coffee. In 1972, the average American family sat down together every single morning at a table with real food. Father read the newspaper. Mother made breakfast from scratch. Children ate eggs and toast at a real wooden table. That was the morning routine. Not a podcast in your earbuds. Not a protein shake in a moving car. Not 45 minutes of scrolling before you even stand up. Just people present together. Studies now show that families who eat breakfast together have significantly lower rates of anxiety and depression. They did not know the science in 1972. They just did it, and what happened after breakfast changed everything. After breakfast, the kids left the house on foot, on bicycles, sometimes in a neighbor's car. No GPS location sharing. No check-in texts every hour. No parent tracking every single step on an app. Just a kid, a neighborhood, and the entire day ahead. And here is a number that will stop you cold. Yes, studies show that children in the 1970s walked an average of 6 miles per day, just going about their normal lives. 6 miles, without a fitness tracker, without a step goal, without even thinking about it. Today, the average American child walks less than 1 mile per day. 1 mile. The distance did not change. The permission did. But here is what nobody talks about. While the kids were outside, something remarkable was happening in the kitchen. Mom was cooking, not reheating, not ordering through an app, not unwrapping something from a plastic pouch with a QR code on it. Actually, cooking fresh vegetables, real cuts of meat, ingredients with names you could pronounce without a chemistry degree. Frank from New York still remembers his Italian mother, standing at that stove every single day. His grandmother beside her, 2 women, 1 kitchen, real food, every day without exception. No processed food entered that house. If you wanted something between meals, you ate a piece of fruit. That was the entire snack aisle. Today we call that approach clean eating, and charge people $200 a month for a meal plan to explain it. In the 1970s, it was just called feeding your family. The real reason will surprise you. At 5 o'clock sharp, dinner was on the table. The whole family sat down. Grandmother included, no exceptions, no negotiations, no phones, no television during the meal, no one disappearing to eat alone in their room, just the family, the food, the conversation, and when dinner was over, the kitchen closed. No late night snacking, no midnight refrigerator raids, no delivery driver arriving at 11 p.m. You ate at 5, and your body had 12 to 14 hours to rest, recover, and reset completely. No wearable device counting your sleep cycles. No intermittent fasting coach charging $99 a month. Today, we have turned that natural eating window into a wellness trend. We sell courses about it. We write books about it. In the 1970s, It was just called Tuesday, and what happened next changed everything. Think carefully about what people actually ate between meals in 1970s America. An apple, an orange, a glass of cold water from the tap. That was it. There were no snack aisles taking up half the grocery store, no protein bars with 17 ingredients, no energy drinks in every gas station cooler, no bag of chips in every hand, in every car, on every desk. Food was something you sat down for, something you prepared, something that you actually tasted, not something you mindlessly consumed while staring at a screen you were already staring at for 9 hours. One viewer from Ohio said it perfectly. Food was earned, prepared, and appreciated, not something you ordered in 8 minutes from an app while lying on your couch. He is 100% right, but that was only part of the story. Here's a number that will genuinely shock you. In 1955, a large Coca-Cola was 6.5 ounces. 6.5 ounces. That was the large. Today, a medium Coca-Cola at McDonald's is 21 ounces. The original McDonald's hamburger was 250 calories. Today, a large Big Mac meal with fries and a drink is about 1,300 calories in one sitting for one person, called lunch. And here is the part that should disturb you most. Nobody made a conscious decision to eat more. The portions simply grew around us, year after year, inch by inch, cup by cup, and our bodies had absolutely no choice but to follow. We did not change. The container changed, and this is where it gets truly interesting. Every morning, the kids left the house, and they did not come back until the streetlights turned on. That was the rule, not a written rule, not a conversation. Everyone just knew it. No schedule, no organized activities, no adult supervising every moment of play. Just children, inventing their own games, solving their own problems, building their own social world from scratch. Bikes piled on the front lawn, neighborhood games that lasted all afternoon, Dad's station wagon pulling into the driveway at dusk, full of sweaty, sunburned, genuinely happy children ready for dinner. That was a childhood, not a structured play date, not a curated activity, not an achievement to post for other parents to see online. Just freedom, pure, unscheduled, unhurried freedom. But here is what nobody talks about. It was not only the children who were moving. In 1970, nearly 60% of American men worked physical jobs, construction sites, factory floors, family farms, jobs that required your full body, all day long, 5 days a week, and at home, women manage households without every modern shortcut. No robot vacuum, no instant appliances, no 30-minute delivery of anything you forgot. Running a household in 1972 was a full physical day, every single day. And at the end of that day, every single person slept well. Not because of a sleep supplement from Amazon, not because of a white noise machine or a blackout curtain, not because of a weighted blanket or a magnesium gummy, because their bodies were genuinely, completely, physically tired. The kind of tired that actually heals you. The real reason will surprise you. Here's something worth sitting with for a moment. In 1972, if you wanted to eat, you had to move your body first. You drove to the store. You walked every single aisle. You carried the bags to the car. You carried them inside. You put everything away. Then you cooked it. There was no DoorDash, no Uber Eats, no 30-minute grocery delivery to your door. And at the supermarket, there was no promotion offering 72 cans of soda if you bought 36. Because that promotion is not a bargain. One viewer from Texas said it better than I ever could. 72 cans of soda in your house is not a deal. It is an invitation. An invitation your body cannot refuse. And what happened next changed everything. Perhaps the most powerful thing about 1970s American life cannot be measured in calories or miles or hours. It was the family table. Grandmother did not live in a facility 40 minutes away. She lived in the house, or she arrived every Sunday without fail, without being asked, without scheduling it in an app. Recipes passed from hand to hand, not from a food blog. Values shared over dinner every night, not in a parenting podcast. Wisdom moved from one generation to the next. Naturally, quietly, across a kitchen table. No family therapist needed, no parenting framework to study, no screen time contract to negotiate with a 9-year-old, just people who loved each other, sitting at the same table, eating the same food, telling the same stories they had always told. That is something no subscription service can replace, but that was only part of the story. So when did it all change? The answer is surprisingly specific. Between 1975 and 1985, three things happened almost simultaneously, and together they rewired American life completely. First, high fructose corn syrup entered the food supply. Within a decade, it was in almost everything on the shelf. Second, seed oils, aggressively marketed as the healthy alternative to traditional fats, flooded every kitchen in America, replacing lard, replacing butter, replacing everything people had cooked with for 100 years. Third, screens arrived, first televisions in every room, then home computers, then phones that never left your hand. The average American in 1972 spent less than 2 hours a day looking at a stereo screen. Today, that number is over 7 hours. The world did not gradually drift in a new direction. It was systematically reorganized in less than a single decade. And this is where it gets really dark. Here's the one thing nobody tells you. You do not need to go back to 1972. You cannot bring back the clothesline in the backyard. You cannot uninvent the smartphone. You cannot make your grandmother's kitchen reappear. But you can take something back. Dinner at 5 with everyone at the table and phones in another room. A walk to the store instead of open an app. One meal this week cooked from actual ingredients. Ingredients with names you recognize. One evening without a screen. These are not radical ideas. This is not a 30-day challenge or a wellness program or a movement with a hashtag. These are simply the ways people used to live, not because they were disciplined, not because they were enlightened, simply because it was Tuesday. And that was just life. And somewhere deep inside, every single one of us already knows this. We did not lose our way because we are weak. We outsmarted ourselves. And the answer was never complicated. It was just forgotten.